So in the previous class we were discussing about savings account, savings bank account, isn't it? So I have a very tiny portion more. Then we will move to the seminar session. Okay, so moving to the new topic, bills of exchange. One of you tell me, recollect your 11th standard portions and tell me what is bills of exchange. Do you remember? Bill of exchange, promissory note. What was that? Anyone? What was that? In your simple words, no need of any definition at all. What did you learn? What do you know about bills of exchange? What do you understand? Nobody remembers? Nobody is
Ma'am, it is an agreement between the seller and the buyer.
Okay. It is yes, it is an agreement. You're right. It is an agreement between the seller and the buyer. You're right. What is that agreement related to? What is it about? Yes, Aditya, you were trying to say something. Yes, Anila, tell me.
To make payment.
Yes, right. Regarding the payment, it is an agreement. In the agreement, it will be clearly mentioned about the payment to be made. I'll tell you. Just a second. So, let's say there are two people. Where is it? Okay. There are two people, A and B. Okay. This is A and this is B. A is the seller. A is the seller and B is the buyer. So B has purchased goods from A. Okay. B has purchased. He has bought some goods from A. So A sold goods to B. Okay. But B say that I don't have money with me now. I don't have money now, but I will make the payment later on. Okay. So A is selling goods to B on credit. A is not receiving the cash immediately. So A is selling goods to B on credit. Why do A agree to this? He is not getting the money immediately. Then why is he agreeing to make the sales on credit? What do you think? Nobody want to answer? Why is A selling goods to B on credit? A is not going to receive money immediately. After all, we all live for money, to make money. What could be the reason? Why is A selling goods to B on credit? Otherwise, B will go to some other person, some other seller to purchase the goods. So, it's okay that the payment will be made in the future. Someday he'll get the payment. If he disagree with this, B will approach some other seller. So, A will lose that sales. Okay. Okay. And so B has told A that B will make the payment in future. So A tells to B, okay B, that's okay, fine, but we need to come to an agreement. We will prepare a document. It is a document. Bills of exchange is a document. Okay, so what is bill of exchange? It is a document prepared by the seller. Seller here A prepares the document mentioning about the sales. Okay, to make the payment of the sales in in the future, in the document, it will be very clearly mentioned when to make the repayment. So clear? What is bills of exchange? Bill of exchange is a document prepared by the drawer. The one who prepares the document is called drawer. Drawer. And who's B here? A is the creditor, B is the debtor. So B here is drawee. Am I clear now? So drawer, a document prepared by the drawer in the name of the drawee regarding the payment that has to be made by the drawee. And there is one more person, one more name, one more party, that is payee. 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 Who is payee? Payee is the person to whom the payment has to be made. Sometimes drawer and payee will be the same. A will ask B, okay, after 2 months, make the payment to me. So here drawer is preparing the document and payment is also received by A. So here drawer and payee is the same. The one who should make the payment, that is the drawee. Clear now? This is all about bills of exchange. Bills of exchange. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing. Instrument in writing containing the unconditional order signed by the maker. Somebody is making it, preparing it. He is a maker, directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. This is the definition of bills of exchange, and I explained to you the very simple meaning of bills of exchange. Bill of exchange. Finish writing? Please tell me. If not, no? Okay, okay. I'll wait. It is a document prepared by the drawer to the drawee, asking him to make the payment either to the drawer or to someone else. That is called payee. If suppose A, the seller, is asking B to make the payment to C, his friend. C is A's friend. C is A's friend and A is asking B to make the payment to C. So here A is the drawer, B is the drawee and C is the payee. Payee. Okay. And what is promissory note then? Bill of exchange is the document prepared by the seller asking the buyer to make the payment. Then what is promissory note? Anyone? Promissory note. See, I told you A, B, seller and buyer. Who's giving the answer? Say it aloud. Once
It's
again.
a promise given
Right, very good. Right answer.
to pay a future pay.
Yes,
to
correct,
make a future
correct.
payment.
Right, right. See, bill of exchange was prepared by seller asking buyer to make the payment. If the same document, not the same document, if that document is prepared by the buyer is preparing it, stating that I promise you that I will pay the payment on so and so date. So if the buyer prepares the document stating his promissory note, promise note, he is promising to make the payment, that he will make the payment in a decided future date. If the buyer prepares it, then it becomes the promissory note. Okay, that is the difference between bill of exchange and promissory note. So bill of exchange, see, we have three parties to it: the drawer, drawee, payee. Drawer is the person regarding bill of exchange. Drawer is the person who issues the bill. Drawee, the person to whom the bill is issued. And payee is the person to whom payment is made. Three parties involved in bill of exchange. Sharath, switch on the video, Sharath. Shubham. Sharath, don't forget to call me, okay? Okay. Now, I will show you an example of bill of exchange, a pro forma. See, you can see a bill of exchange here. Rupees 30,000 has to be made. Rupees 30,000. There is a revenue stamp over here. And it is prepared. The bill of exchange heading is given. It is prepared on 6th October 2017. Okay, bill of exchange is prepared on this date. 2 months after date, paid to C or his order the sum of rupees 30,000 only for value received. Okay, after 2 months, from this date, after 2 months, the payment should be made to C. So, and this is prepared to D. So, who are the people here? C is the payee because payment has to be made to C. This is prepared by C. C is the drawer. And here we have D, which is the drawee who accepts this bill of exchange. Drawee D should make the payment to C. Okay. So here C, the drawer and payee is the same only. C prepares it and he is asking to make the payment to C itself. If suppose if it was some K, that means it is a different person. Okay, then here the drawer who prepares it is C. The one who should make the payment is D, and to whom the one who receives the payment is C. Hope you understand the differences. Okay. Now here we have a pro forma of promissory note. Promissory note. I, the maker's name. Let's give a name C. I, C, agree and promise to pay. Let us give a payee a name D. D, or order the sum of the amount with interest at the annual rate. Okay, and C is going to make the payment to D, and who is the maker here? C is the maker. Okay, so this is the promise given by the buyer, the drawee, and here we have a payee because the C will be making the payment to D, who is the payee. Okay, so this is a promissory note. Earlier one was bill of exchange. Now we will discuss what is the maturity of the bill. What is the maturity of the bill? Maturity of the bill means the date on which the payment has to be made. Maturity of the bill. But the maturity of the bill includes one more thing, that is called days of grace period. Days of grace period, that is an additional 3 days. Suppose I am the drawee, a drawer. I am asking the drawee to make the payment. I prepare it on January 1st. On January 1st, I am asking B to make the payment next month. Next month, okay? After 1 month. So when is the next month? After 1 month means when? How will we calculate the date? How will we decide the date? If according to the statement, it is prepared on January 1st and the repayment should be done on next month, then it is February 1st. Okay, but this is not the way we calculate maturity of bill. We will add 3 more days to it. 3 more additional dates are added to it. So if the date falls on 1st, the payment should be made on 4th. Okay, 3 days more is given. Additional 3 days are made. That is how we calculate the maturity of the bill. Calculation of due date of bill of exchange. Let's see. Due date of bill of exchange is calculated to find the date on which the payment of the bill of exchange is due. For calculation of the due date of bill of exchange, we follow the following steps. Identify the start date. Okay, identify the start date, the date on which the bill of exchange is drawn. Then add the number of days or month, however it is, like after 60 days, after 75 days, or after 2 months, after 3 months. So accordingly we'll add the months or the days. Then along with that we add 3 days extra. 3 days extra is added. And this extra 3 days is known as days of grace. Grace, G-R-A-C-E, grace. Okay, so it is not according to the statement, no. If it is on March 20, I ask for the payment after 3 months. After 3 months, that means March 20, April 20, April, May 20, June 20. It is not on June 20. According to the statement, it is June 20, but no, plus 3 more days. So it is on June 23rd. The maturity is on June 23rd. Okay. Okay, see, we'll do the calculation now. Let us see the example. A bill of exchange was drawn on 1st March. 1st March. Okay. The bill is drawn on 1st March. The term of the bill was 4 months. 4 months. So after 4 months, the payment has to be made by the drawee to the payee. So how to find out the due date of the bill? So 4 months. 1st March. After 4 months means when is it? 1st March. Then after 1st March, April 1, May 1, June 1, July 1. July 1, that is the date after July 1, that is the date after 4 months. But along with this, 3 days extra has to be added. Days of grace. Grace period. Days of grace. Okay, 3 is added. So we get the date as July 4th. This is the maturity. Maturity date. Okay. Anybody? Any doubt? Any problem? Is it clear? Okay. So let's try next one. Bill of exchange.
4 months, or it can be more than that.
Once more, Shubham.
It should be 4 months only, or we can write any month.
It is given in the question 4 months. Did you see that? So how can you write like that? In the question it is said that after 4 months. So after 4 months means it is on July 1st. But when we find out the maturity date, 3 more days should be added in extra. So the date becomes July 4th. Okay. Okay, Shubham? See the next one. A bill of exchange is drawn on 1st March 2018. And the term of the bill was 20 days. After 20 days, the payment has to be made. See the question, Shubham. March 1 and the payment has to be made after 20 days. So, how do we calculate? Find out. Try. First March. From 1st March after 20 days. 20 days.
20th March.
Where is the 3 days grace period? Whatever date you find out, along with that 3 days should be added extra.
24th March.
Yes? When is it?
24th March.
Correct. 24th March. 24. March 24. Did you get the answer, everyone? March 1. March 1 plus 20. So the date becomes March 21. And plus 3 days grace period. 21. March 1, from March 1, 20 more days. After 20 days. 1 plus 20, that will give you March 21 plus 3 days extra. So that is on March 24th. March 24th. Okay. Now, when you calculate the due date, you should keep in mind some points. That is, if a bill falls due on a date which is not existent in that month, last day of the month is taken. For example, if a bill is drawn on 30th January for 1 month, okay, so it becomes due on 28th Feb, 28th February, because February will have only 28 days, and from 28 days plus 3. Then comes March 1, 2, 3. So it is on March 3rd. Same with the case of months having 30 days, 31 days. Okay. Now coming to the public holidays. If after calculating along with the days of grace period, if you get the date as January 26, it's a public holiday declared by the government. So if it is a public holiday or it is Sunday, like holiday, then the payment should be done just the previous day. Okay. See, if the date is on 26th January, which is a public holiday, then that we will know in advance. After all, it is given in the calendars. We know the dates. So, then the payment must be done the day just the previous public holiday. Previous day of the public holiday. Okay. And again, if it is an unexpected holiday suddenly declared by the government, emergency holiday, maybe, see the example, due to the death of a national leader, something like that, which is not there in the calendar. The calendar doesn't show such unexpected holidays. If the date after calculating along with the days of grace period, even if the date falls on an emergency holiday, then the bill can be paid 1 day later, the next day. Okay, suppose the date falls on, say, June 4th. Unexpectedly, this 4th was a holiday, a sudden declaration by the government. Then we can make the payment the next day, which is June 5. Okay. Suppose if the date is on August 15, then when will be the date of maturity?
On the August 14th.
Sorry, once again.
August 14th.
14, right, 14, the day previous, because August 15 is a declared holiday, public holiday declared in advance, we know that. Okay, so August 15 is a public holiday already announced by the government. So the previous day, August 14, the date falls on August 14. If it is an unexpected holiday, the next day becomes the date of maturity. Okay. So by this we come to an end of this chapter. Only this is there. Okay. So we have completed this chapter now and we have 15 more minutes. So shall we do the seminar now? Okay, shall we begin? Where is Aditya? Okay, Aditya, start. Wait. Before starting, let me give the instructions. Everybody is going to listen to the seminar. Then you should prepare a seminar report Seminar report, I told you it's not a big deal. Just listen and write on this particular day. On what is today's date? 22nd June. A seminar was conducted on the topic RBI by. Wait, Aditya. Wait. Okay. A seminar was conducted on the topic this. My friend Aditya explained so and so topics. Okay. So you will be preparing it's like a note only, a note from this topic, but you include some introduction like this. Okay, so you can keep this in your file. The seminar report should be kept in your file as a note on this, class note. Okay, so let's begin. Start.
Evening to one and all present here. Myself, Vidya, here to take the seminar on the topic RBI.
Aditya, switch on the video. Okay, start the seminar.
Good evening to one and all present here. Myself, Aditya, here to take this seminar on the topic RBI. Reserve Bank of India was established following on Act 1934. The Reserve Bank was established in the year 1934 by RBI Act or Reserve Bank of India Act. It is responsible for the issue and supply of Indian currency, the regulation of Indian banking system, and controls the payment system also. It has 4 regional offices in Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai. RBI. What is RBI? RBI is the apex monetary and banking structure of a country. This organization regulates the money supply and controls the interest rate. So these are the functions of the RBI, which RBI issues the money supply and controls. A central bank is a monopoly on printing the nation's currency. So RBI is only having the right to print the nation's currency, and it is considered as the nation's legal tender. If there is any financial crisis, to the banks and other financial institutions, RBI fulfills the credit needs of the other banks and other credit institutions. Banks and if there is any needs, banks advises to the other banks and the government. This is what you know by RBI. It's an apex monetary and banking structure of a country. Next is about the history of RBI. It's just given in a timeline form. In 1926, the Royal Commission of India wanted to make a central financial needs of a country. So in 1927, they made a bill in the Legislative Assembly to make a central bank for the country, but it was withdrawn due to lack of agreement of the people. In 1933, they made a reserve bank for the country, and they made a fresh bill they introduced in the Legislative Assembly. In 1934, the bill was passed, and 1935, the RBI was formed. 1st April 1934, the RBI was formed and started taking its initiative from 1936. 1940, RBI was under the authority of Burma. And 1947, it stopped under the government of Burma. 1948, the Reserve Bank of India stopped its services to Pakistan. And 1949, it was only made for India. It was denationalized within the country, and it was made only for the to provide services among the people of India. This is about the history of RBI. It's the first year of bank notes issued by the RBI. It's a 10 rupee note. It is issued in the year 1998. This is the central borders decreasing order. First comes the governor, then comes the deputy governors, executive directors, principal chief general managers, general managers, deputy general managers, assistant general managers, assistant managers, and support staffs. This is about the how of the RBI. It's an order. First comes the governor, then deputy governor, then executive directors, and so on. Structure of RBI. There is local body and central body. Local body gives advices to the body, and the main head of the RBI is the governor, Shaktikanta Das. He is an IAS officer and all named to the Bank of India in December 2018. And you can see the picture of the governor. And for that, in India, there is governor. 15 it consists of members of 20 members. First comes the governor, then comes the deputy, then comes the directors. So, this is the function of RBI. RBI the banks. If banks are under the control of RBI, even though they have to open a branch, they have to get the permission of the RBI. So there are mainly 7 functions of RBI. That is monopoly or note issue, banker's agent and advisor to the government, custodian of commercial bank, custodian of nation's reserve of international, lender to the last resort, clearinghouse function, credit control, and it helps in foreign exchange also. These are the main functions which is provided by RBI. RBI and acts as a bank to the government. It issues currencies. RBI is only having the power to issue the currency. It acts as a banker to the bank, helps in foreign exchange, supervises the financial system, or monetary policy.
Okay, well done, very nice, very well prepared. Even though her voice was breaking in between, but her slides shows that how well she has prepared. Am I right? Give her a clap, please. Please give her a clap. Everyone, give. She was the first one to take. Clap for her. Yes. You should encourage, support your friends. Yes. Good job, Aditya. Very nice. Very well prepared. She has put her 10% effort into it. Very nice. Wonderful. Your voice was breaking. That's okay. Your video was stuck for some time. That is okay. That is all due to the network issues. No problem. But she has taken so much of effort. So much. Very nice. Okay. Now, it's time now. Okay, was it clear? As the slides were there, even though the voice was breaking, others could follow, isn't it? Yes. So this is really a model for others. Try to do like this. Okay? Prepare well. Now we have in the next class Hannah and Anjo. I have so much of expectations from all of you. And I have assigned a topic to Aparna today. Okay? Now how about your assignments? Did you forget about that? Sharath, you should call me, yeah? Assignment. See, when you do the assignment, please don't write the name alone. I need something about that. What is the meaning? Or there should be something that others can learn from your assignment. Even though you prepare it in your creative way, like any cartoon or conversation, dialogue, poster, whatever it is, but there should be some content, not only the topic. Did you get me? So I told you about the fixed rate and fluctuating rate. If it is in a conversation way, I told you a customer is going to the bank. He is inquiring about the loan facilities offered there. So the bank employee gives the reply. We have so and so loans. We offer interest rates this way. There are two ways we offer the interest rate, fixed rate and fluctuating rate. Which one do you prefer, sir? So in that content, even though it is prepared, it is in the conversation, but still you get the idea of that topic. Definitely the bank employee will be explaining what is fixed interest rate, what is fluctuating interest rate. Do you get me? So there should be something, and as it is a first assignment, let it be a simple one. No need to go for wide explanation, detailed explanation is not required. So do it well. I expect so much from you, so please prepare very well. And Aditya was superb, very nice. Keep up this quality always. Okay. So, okay. So I will forward this PPT in the group. You can write the seminar report. Seminar report will be the note. And let me tell you, we are moving to the next chapter. This is the introduction of your next chapter, chapter 5. Reserve Bank of India, regulation on banks. So this is the introduction on bank, and Aditya gave you the introduction. Okay, so this is important. Don't neglect it. You should prepare the note and let the note be in the form of a seminar report. Okay, clear to all? Just a second. Okay, we'll leave. Let me take a photo of it. Okay. Okay, so see you on Thursday. See you. You can call me, Aparna, whoever it is. Whatever doubts you may call me regarding the seminar, whatever assignments I give you, you can contact me. Okay, thank you so much. And next is Hannah and Anjo reminding you. Thank you. I leave the meeting.